Gemini 1. A glass-bottomed boat in still waters. Imagine yourself on a lake in a boat where you can see through the bottom of it, deep down into the hidden depths of the water below. There's a metaphor here for the unconscious mind, which we cannot penetrate, we cannot understand unless we have great clarity of mind. And what that means, clarity of mind, is absolutely the same as clarity of feelings, which means that we're not lost in our emotionality. We have peaceful stillness, a serenity of being. That's a clear mind. And when we have that emotional state, then we just get to see what is. And there are times when our curiosity is the motivating force of our lives. When we've worked out all of our duties and all of what we want and need, then we're left with this free time. And typically that begins with the phrase, I wonder. I wonder what it would be like if I went here, or I did that, or I learned this skill, or I just wonder. I have wonder for the beauty of nature and life itself. So this curiosity leads us towards a deepening of our understanding of life. It takes us into the unconscious realm, previously unconscious realms. That which has not been given the light of our full attention is to some extent unconscious. But when we move our attention to look at something, then it moves from the unconsciousness into the conscious mind, from our unawareness into our awareness. Usually we don't understand that we don't understand. The first stage of our being on a path towards knowledge is unconscious ignorance. We don't know that we don't know. And then the stage of conscious ignorance, or conscious unconsciousness. We're aware of our unknowing. That's the next stage. And then we practice conscious consciousness, a strange phrase. We have to think very carefully in order to do what we do and to know what we know. We've got to concentrate. We can get it if we try hard, but it's hard to try. Now, the final stage is unconscious awareness, unconscious consciousness, where we just know what we know and we don't have to think about it. This is the natural process of learning pretty much anything. And the glass-bottomed boat image suggests that we have awakened to the fact that we're unconscious of what we don't know. As a teacher, I found so many people don't know their own ignorance. They just don't know that they don't understand how it's all going on. They think they understand how life works, despite all the evidence that they're anxious and depressed and failing and other problems. Evidence that they don't really understand life's mysteries, but they don't know that they don't understand the working principle for life. And as soon as you actually get somebody to understand, look, it's different from how we're taught. It's different from what you think. Life is obeying different rules from the ones that you're trying to follow. That's why you're not making it work, because you're actually playing this game according to the wrong rules. You have to understand the rules of life before you can actually win and become happy and joyful. And if you don't know that you don't know the rules, then what are you going to do? So the first stage in our awareness is to open up our minds to the possibility that we've got it wrong, that we've misunderstood. This is the beginning of wisdom. The beginning of wisdom is the acceptance of our own ignorance and unknowing. Now, our curiosity is such a powerful motivating force in life. We just think, wouldn't it be nice if I went to a different country? I wonder what it's like to do this, that, or the other. And that curiosity takes us into a field of new experience. in this field of new experience, strange things are happening. And like we're awakened into this culture shock experience. You think about going abroad and you think, oh look, they drive their cars on the other side of the road, or look, they eat different food, or like, this city smells different from my city, or these women dress in different clothes, and so on. We just notice all of these obvious things, which doesn't require a huge amount of concentration. And yet, if we actually approach this situation with a more subtle level of attention, and we observe more quietly, and we see more, we just notice subtle gestures, head movements, body postures, expressions in the way people speak, attitudes to sexuality, attitudes to power, attitudes to possessiveness, attitudes to children. Every country has a different set of those. And they're subtle. We don't see those unless we look. Can you train yourself to look at more in life? Can you train yourself to look at things in a more subtle way? This is the question here. Openness of mind is one thing, but sensitivity of observation, just noticing what there is to see, this is a deeper secret altogether. Now, when we respond to these new perceptions that we have, there are two attitudes of consciousness that we can bring to that event. On the one hand, we can strike, we can take advantage, and we could make a new creative decision to change who we are, how we are, what we do, what we want. We can change ourselves and move ourselves in a given direction because we've got a new opportunity, and we strike and we take that opportunity, and that brings a whole series of new adventures and new experiences. And yet we can also simply observe, just notice everything. And we don't have to be in a foreign country to do that. Every situation is different from what it was before, day by day. Even that dull routine job you have at work, it's not the same as it was yesterday. The people that you share your office with, or your workplace, or whatever, they're going through their own process. So each of them is a little bit different. And because of that, people interact differently with each other, with the group at large, with themselves actually. And these subtle clues are real indicators of the underlying flow of life. There's a river of change that is carrying us all forward, well beyond our capacity to change its direction. We can't. It's powerful and beyond us. But what we can do is respond differently to it. We can't change the way the wind's blowing. The direction of the wind is pretty much what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. But we can set our sails differently, can't we? We can respond to that wind of change, and this opens up our choices about what we are, who we are, and how we experience life. And these indicators of the winds of change and the current of the river that's carrying us along, whatever metaphor you like, these currents are very subtle. And the indicators of those currents, whether it's wind or water or whatever, those indicators are written in very small ways in every situation. So by opening up our curiosity and knowing that we don't know very much, on a very subtle level, we just notice what is. We just change our response to that a little bit. And that's the best thing we can do. Nothing else to do, really. Not if you want a peaceful life.